everyone, a hearty welcome to our session Talk Talks. Good morning Shravan sir, good evening Sarjeev sir, my dear seniors and friends. I am Deepthi Chittaluri from first year Chemical Engineering. Let us start our Talk Talk with an invocation by Nivedita.
This is who we are. We are a team. Talented, energetic, astonishing mindsets. We can do anything and everything. We talk, we care, we respect each other. We see beauty in everyone, everything. We are connected by hearts and driven by values. We celebrate each other. We provide values to others. We take ownership in everything. We have freedom to make mistakes. We learn as we go. We are mad to make a difference. We love disruptive ideas. We make impossible things possible. We are strong to question the creation. We believe in dreaming big. If we do not dare to dream big, are we really living? Why be ordinary when we can be extraordinary? This is who we are.
Thank you, Nivedita. Today our speaker is Sajiv sir. Let us give me a brief introduction of sir. Sir studied his bachelor's at Osmania College of Technology in the year 1978 to 1982. Then after moved to IIT Kharagpur for his master's. Sir also studied middle management program at IIM Ahmedabad and also took the leadership skills for top management corporate strategy at Indian School of Business in 2006. This depicts the learning attitude of Sir. Sir is working as manager directing at ZChem Specialists Private Limited. Also worked as CEO at UNIV Consulting, director at ZChem Specialists Private Limited, technical director at ITW Camel, and production at Asian Paints. Sir, let us start our session with a questionnaire. I have a question for you. Would you like to tell us more about ZChem which you are working in?
Yeah. Okay, to give you a brief, I would say additional brief on my career, I spent about 28 years in the corporate world. That is when I started, I wanted to venture out on my own. That means I wanted to become an entrepreneur. Okay, so that is when I started two companies. One is in consulting area, which is called UWIN Consulting. Other one is ZChem Specialties, which is called in American Z. So we call it ZChem Specialties. Okay, so easy to pronounce. ZChem Specialties Private Limited. It's a manufacturing organization based out of Bangalore. Otherwise, I am from Hyderabad. So I'm a Hyderabadi. I studied in Osmania University. Worked most of the time in Hyderabad. Today also I am speaking to you from my Hyderabad house. Okay, so ZChem Specialties was started in 2014 January. So we completed 7 years of existence last January. And so we are manufacturing and marketing non-destructive testing products. Non-destructive testing products are used to test products without destructing them. Okay. So to give you a brief of what is non-destructive testing is, for example, we use a lot of components in automotive. We use a lot of components in, I would say, aeroplanes, ships, then trucks, railways. All these components that are used in the vehicles that I mentioned, they have to be tested for defects without destroying them. Okay. And these defects are very, very minute, invisible with the naked eye, very, very fine cracks. So we make products which are used to test these defects. And if the products are defect-free, they can be put to use. So that's how it is. We manufacture these products out of our Bangalore factory. We market them in India. We also export these products out of India into Middle East and Southeast Asian countries. So that's it. We have a lot of goals, ambitious goals. So we want to send our products to United States of America, and we want to also succeed in China, which is very, very, I would say, challenging because it's unknown terrain for us. So that's it. It keeps going. While most of my classmates retired, I am still working. There is no specific reason. It's just my, I would say, individual choice. And so it keeps on going on, it keeps on going strong, strength by strength, and that's it. Does it answer your question, Deepti?
Yes, sir. Friends, now flow is open to all. Any questions, doubts? Go ahead.
You can write down your questions while I'm speaking.
Sir,
Tejashree.
can you please brief out about, yes sir, can you please brief out about non-destructive tests?
Yeah, non-destructive testing, as the name denotes, it's a testing of a product without destructing it. For example, you smell, right? You smell something, so that means you are testing a product. For example, you want to smell, let's say, a dosa, idli, or sambar or something. You smell it, so you don't actually spoil the product. So, but you say, yeah, it's good, it's not good, something like that. But some places, you just bend it, or you just break it and you test it. So that is called destructive testing. So there is a difference between non-destructive testing and destructive testing. So we are into non-destructive testing. That means a component which can be tested and be put to use. For example, we travel in trains, we travel in buses, we travel in aeroplanes, we use our own motorbikes, we use our own scooters, we use our own, I would say, cars. All the components that we use have to be free of any defects. And when I say defects, these defects are very, very fine defects. Okay. So all these components that are used in the products that I mentioned, they have to be tested for defects. So we make products which are used to test these defects. Is it clear?
Yes sir.
Yeah. You can actually go through my website. More details are given in my website also.
Sure sir, definitely.
My name is Apurva.
Hi, Apurva.
We have gone through your LinkedIn, like you have did chemical engineering, and then you also did you also went to IIM. So what was the reason to get into
No, I did not go
management?
to IIM immediately after my BTech. I went to do masters in IIT Kharagpur. The reason why I went to IIT Kharagpur is, one, of course, I wanted that IIT brand in my CV, which is of course stronger than Usmania University. Of course, it's a fact. There is no need to feel bad about it. It's okay. I mean, that's a fact which no one can deny it. And I went to IIM as my company-sponsored program. Because a lot of companies, they identify good employees and they send the people to these IIMs and good management institutes to strengthen their management skills. And it's all paid by the company. We don't pay anything from our pocket. So that's it. Does it answer your question?
Thank you so much.
Middle management program. I mean, can you brief about it?
Yeah. Middle management program is, for example, you go to IIM immediately after, let's say, your engineering. You usually don't have any experience in working in a corporate and so on and so forth. Okay, so middle management program is for the people who are in the middle of their career, or who have spent, let's say, 10 to 12 years in corporate. So that is why they call it middle management program. That means they have gained some experience out of their career, out of their, I would say, working in a company, and they are supposed to acquire additional skills through this middle management program. It's about 6-week program. So what they do is usually the PGP is called the postgraduate program. I think is about 18 months. So what they do is they compress this 18 months program to 6 weeks program, because we cannot spend 18 months in leaving our jobs, and compress it and make it a 6-week program.
I mean, to do that program.
As I told you, see, you need, there is no rule book for that. There is no hard and fast guideline for that. But usually people are sent after about, let's say, 10 to 12 years of work experience, so that it is easy to catch the things, when the things are taught in such a brisk pace. Because you're supposed to cover everything in 6 weeks time. So if you are a novice, if you are a fresher, then it is difficult to connect to the industry. I can see Rohit. Is it Rohit?
Uh, yes.
Hi, Rohit.
Hi, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. We spoke over WhatsApp, I think, a couple of
Yeah.
times.
Yes, yes.
Good. Yeah. Go ahead with your question.
When we are going through your LinkedIn profile, we saw that we got to know about your learning attitude. How did you manage that mindset, learning mindset and learning attitude? Can you give us any tips for that?
See, there is nothing like how. It is all our conscious decision. Okay. So like Shravan said, what is more important in your life? You have to decide between sleep or, attend to this talk session. So you decide what is important in your life. If you think that learning adds value to you, if you acknowledge, if you realize, if you are serious about it, things will fall in place. Okay. In today's world, there are more tools for learning than our times. Okay. So sleeping in your bed, in 1 minute, you can open your smartphone and try to find out what is this. Okay. So if you don't learn in today's world, then you are fit for nothing. I can tell you that. I can be frank on that. Because you have more tools, you have, I would say, better equipped, and in terms of learning. So learning is attitude. Learning is, I think it's a conscious decision. And learning, because I feel, I'm a firm believer that how many new things are coming up in this world in a day? Rough guess, let's say about 500 to 1,000 things crop up, new things crop up in a day.
Easy.
Yeah. So how many can you learn? If you don't learn anything in that day, that means you're behind by those 1,000 things. Okay. So at least you cannot catch up. The gap is only widening. You cannot catch up. But if you learn at least 10 out of those 500 or 20 out of 500, then you are ahead of your other colleagues, or you are ahead of your other, I would say, students or other citizens or whatever it is. So learning is a must. There is no choice. Okay. So it is not option. You don't think it is option. Learning is a must. I can tell you, I have learned more about chemical engineering during my work than during my college. For sure, I can tell you. And even now, I can answer most of your chemical engineering questions that I would not have been able to answer during the exam in chemical engineering. Okay, so learning is a must. Don't ask that question. It's a must. You have no choice. You have no option. Okay, so when I say learning, don't think that you have to learn only related to career or something. You can learn regarding your career, regarding anything. You can talk about finance planning is learning. How to build wealth in your life is a learning. How to manage your family is a learning. How to manage your neighborhood is a learning. How to I would say connect in your neighborhood, or networking is a learning. So these are all learning. You learn these skills by practicing, learning, etc. Okay, so learning is not necessarily on your subject, right? Does it answer, or this is not a convincing answer?
Yeah, sir, I got it. Actually, many people will be distracting, or sometimes it happens, right, sir, like after a certain age, like after completing masters or BTech, some will be thinking it's like I cannot do a PhD now, or they wanted to do PhD before, but due to some reasons they will be quitting off there. I think that answer.
It's very bad. I can tell you, it's not acceptable, because we keep interviewing people with 3-4 years experience, and we ask what is the definition of viscosity. That says, oh sir, I just finished my education 2 years back, so I did not brush up before coming to interview. I said, bullshit. I can answer you. I have finished my engineering, some 35 years back, and what do you mean by brushing up? So if somebody says, I did not brush up, I did not come prepared for the interview, then he is only fooling himself. He is only, cheating himself. Okay, so it is not correct. Learning has to be a part of your life.
Sir, what are the parameters do you check when someone comes to an interview?
Very good answer. I I don't really ask any technical questions, but I generally try to find out the attitude, because the attitude is very important. So what do you mean by attitude? Positive attitude is very important in life to move ahead, because if you don't have positive attitude, then you cannot move ahead in your life, because you'll have a lot of failures, you will have a lot of speed breakers, you will have a lot of setbacks, you will encounter a lot of uncertain things, unforeseen incidents, etc., etc. So if you don't have positive attitude, then you will not get over those issues, and you'll get stuck at one point in life. Okay. So first I look at the attitude, then look at ability to learn, ability to pick up things, then of course your sincerity, then integrity, commitment, and hard work, etc. I don't much believe on hard work. I believe in smart work, because you can always put in hard work without being smart. I'll come to a few, I would say, tricks, then a later part of the session. What do you mean by smart work? Then, because if you have right attitude and the right, I would say, attitude to learn, then you learn. You can learn. As I told you, I have learned more after chemical engineering, about chemical engineering, than during the college. Okay. So that's what I look at the candidate.
Thank you, sir.
How do you decide it in 1 hour or half an hour of an interview that this person is suitable?
Very difficult. Very difficult. Very good question. You asked excellent question. And but what can you do? You cannot keep interviewing for even if you interview for let's say a week, you are going to know only maybe 20% or 30%. Okay. So you will never know about your human being probably during a lifetime. Okay. So don't worry about those kind of things, because life is not about being accurate. You will never be accurate. You will never be 100% efficient. Okay. Because we are not efficient, we cannot be accurate. So don't worry about those things. But in that 1 hour, use all your skills, use your tools or questionnaire to get the maximum out of that person in that 1 hour or 2 hours. Okay. So in spite of all these things, you would have picked up the wrong guy. That's okay. That's fine. Because you're not budgeting to succeed every time. Am I right? Okay. So you have to move on. I mean, you may make mistakes, but don't, I would say, use those tools properly, and so use your smartness and get the best out of that guy in whatever time, we are interviewing that guy, maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, right?
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Who's speaking?
Swapna, sir.
Yeah. Hi, Swapna.
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
My
okay.
question is, what has been your biggest challenge and how did you overcome it, sir?
In personal or professional?
Both, sir. You can, in both ways.
Okay, so what's your question? What has been my biggest challenge? Or biggest setback or biggest failure, or what's the right word? Biggest challenge?
Yes, sir.
Okay, my biggest challenge in my professional life probably has been to counter the corporate politics, handle the corporate politics, and manage the corporate politics. Okay, I am not sure at your age whether you really understand what is the meaning of this corporate politics. I know it's very difficult to understand those terms, but if you ask that question, I have to answer it, right? Okay, in a corporate, corporate is full of people. Okay, so when 20 people gather or 30 people gather, or more than 30 people gather, people have their own agenda. People have their own, ways of coming up in the ladder. So what is the agenda? What is the purpose of these 30 people? Because they have to reach the top as early as possible. Okay, and you have the competition among those two. I use 30, it can be 50, it can be 100, it can be 1,000. Okay, so it is like, pushing out the people. How do I reach, by pushing the people aside? Okay, so they use different, I would say, tricks, traits, different, XYZ ways of pushing them back so that they're forward. So it's called corporate politics. So people have to learn to manage this. So that has been my biggest challenge. But at one point, I have said to myself that, no point in getting into this, and because a lot of people spend a lot of time in trying to understand, trying to pick up a skill to manage it, trying to talk to people, trying to waste time. So I said, let me not do this. Let me add value to myself. Let me not stop adding value to myself in terms of learning, in terms of picking up skill, in terms of picking up management competencies, in terms of picking up technical competencies, etc., etc. Because that is what will be with you forever in your life. Okay, so these corporate politics are temporary in nature. Fine, I mean, you may be lagging behind compared to XYZ, but personally, I thought that that is not something that worth taking it seriously. You may lose probably 1 or 2 notches in terms of your ladder. But I'm very happy that I did not lose my time in terms of learning, in terms of, let's say, picking up things, picking up skills, competencies, etc. So that has been my biggest, I would say, professional challenge, which I thought maybe I would have overcome nicely. So the second part of the question is what has been my challenge in my personal life? I don't know. I think I wanted to study masters in US like Shravan did, but of course it did not happen. Maybe because of my those days financial background or etc. XYZ reasons. So it did not happen. So that is probably early part of my life. But no regrets as of now. I mean, I had a wonderful life. And so other than that, I have not had any major challenges. Fortunately, I had a wonderful family. All my classmates know. My friend Meena is also listening to what I'm saying. And fine, I think, but it doesn't mean that you're not ready to face challenges. You must be always ready to face challenges. You must be always prepared to face challenges, face failures, handle setbacks, roadblocks. So you don't ever assume that, I have a wonderful life, so I don't need to be ready for XYZ problems. No. Life is not like that. Life is always, full of uncertainties. You don't know what happens next 1 hour. So never ever think that, nothing happened to me, so nothing will happen to me in future also. Okay. So always be ready, be positive, but be prepared for, I would say, setback. So does it answer?
Sajeev Garu, thank you for being on this interactive session with the students. I got up early and I'm really happy that I got up early. I'm enjoying it. You mentioned one thing. You said how hard it is to find the right person. And this is a problem even in US. So when I spoke with many people in India, especially the alumni who have companies like you, that was one of the big things that they said, Shravan, we don't know how to hire people. And hiring people from our college is not very easy for us. And so if you notice that the first NERA conference, the New Era conference, which we did last week, is to help companies like you. So we are hoping every 6 months we will do some, this conference, and we'll put all the documents of these students. So after 4 years, you will know what each student has learned. And then you can say, and if they come to you for an interview, or you can approach them and say, hey, you know what, I've seen your growth. I would like you to be part of my company. So we are hoping, seeing that learning mindset, that learning attitude, which is what every company needs. And if you have that metrics available to you, it will benefit companies like you.
Yeah, so now there are many techniques available to understand a guy, you know. But I would say we still not reached that perfection stage. And even after you hire, people tend to change over the years. Am I right?
Absolutely. I changed.
So I think we don't really need to look for perfection because you'll be unhappy always. Don't look for perfection. If you have achieved, let's say 0.8, I think you're there. You have done well. Yes, madam. I'm waiting for you to counter me.
No, it's not countering. I'm just adding, Sajeev. Actually, you said they change after they join a company, right? I felt that it also depends a lot on what environment we give them to work, how much challenging you make it, how cooperative all the rest of the staff is, and how interesting the work is, how much you allow them to grow technically and managerially. So I think a lot depends on that, how they change and how they evolve, because they're so fresh when they come, right? I mean, that is the first career they're taking up. That's the first job they're taking up.
I agree. Yeah, so it's a combination of many things actually. It's a combination of many things.
Yeah.
I stuck on to one company in ITW, you know, that US multinational for 24 years. But 24 years, you know, they have kept changing the jobs. So it's like, you know, new learning for me and, you know, so what Veena said is perfect, but, you know, what is that you are doing to make sure he stays back in the organization? I mean, don't expect that, you know, it has to be two-way traffic, you know.
Yeah, exactly. That's what. Okay.
Hello, sir. My name is Nivedita.
Hello.
Sir, how do you handle a difficult situation? How do you manage it?
I thought I addressed it. Okay, fine. Difficult situation, but okay. First of all, let's understand what is the meaning of difficult situation. See, as I see, don't get worried too much. I don't get worried too much if you face a difficult situation because the situation is already there. Okay. So, how to handle the situation? First, come out of the situation as early as possible. Of course, you need all this again. You know, we have the earlier experience, knowledge, etc., to handle the situation. But you must act on how to prevent the situation. You must definitely. No, people think that okay, it has happened to me. Okay, it doesn't happen. It will not happen again in future. No, it is not like that. You must definitely be conscious to ensure that it doesn't happen again. And I would say, if it is an incident in an organization, then you must change the way you do things. Change. You should train people. You should prepare the people to ensure that it doesn't occur again. And so there is no, I would say there is no specific hard and fast rule. It depends on the situation. But don't ever assume that it will not happen again. It can recur anytime. So be prepared always. Be conscious of what can go wrong in future. Okay. So, and put your resources on that. Put your resources on that. So that, you know, you are prepared for to handle the worst.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Sanjay.
Yeah, okay. Sir, I have heard that you spent 24 years with ITW Magnaflex. So what is that, sir?
No, ITW is a Chicago-based multinational company. So they have a facility in Hyderabad. Okay, so they are also into manufacturing of different types of chemicals. It can be lubricants, it can be greases, cutting fluids, then maintenance chemicals, non-destructive chemicals, etc. So I was there handling different responsibilities. I was in research, I was in supply chain, manufacturing, marketing, international business. So different assignments I handled during. Is that what you are expecting?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, I'm Chandru. And
Yeah,
sir, What were the long-term goals when you were at 18 like us, and how they are being changed?
Okay. Okay. My due regards to Meena. During my college days, somebody very strongly advised me that I should not get into public sector. Okay. So they said, no, public sector, everyone is treated on equal platform. I hope Meena is hearing or she's not hearing. Okay. Not sure. So, he said, no. Okay. Thank you. That gentleman said, no, you don't really aim for public sector because all are treated on the same platform. So whether it is X, Y, Z, underperformer, above average performer, the promotions are same, etc., etc. So that got into my mind for sure. Okay. So then I said, no, I must, serve in a private sector because there they said, your talent is recognized, your performance is acknowledged, you have, a faster way of reaching the top. Okay, so that was the goal I had during my college, and fortunately I had my career in private sector only. Okay, so that's it. Sorry to all the guys. Okay, I think only Meena is there.
Hello, sir. This is Nishita.
Hi, Nishita.
So I have one question, sir. I have seen your product, sir. So can you give some information regarding this magnetic particle inspection and liquid penetrant inspection techniques?
Yeah. Okay. Actually, my suggestion is that you go through some YouTube videos. There are better explained in those platforms. But in let's say 2 minutes, if you give me to explain, then the objective is to find defects. Magnetic particle inspection is one technique used in ferrous metals, which has magnetism, and liquid penetrant inspection is used for non-ferrous materials where the metals cannot be magnetized. Okay, so the objective is to identify defects. To know more about it, you just go to YouTube and write magnetic particle inspection. You will have at least 1,000 videos. Okay. So you can understand better. If you cannot understand better, then call me, or one-to-one I can explain you. But if you want to really understand, it will take days and days. Right?
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Sir, once you hire someone, like what do you expect from employees? From your
Once I hire them?
Yes, ma'am.
Good question. Of course, see, we hire them for a specific job description. Right? Yes. It can be quality, it can be manufacturing, it can be marketing, it can be finance, it can be supply chain, etc. A specific job description, we hire them. Okay, so in addition to the, I would say, routine job, we expect them to, I would say, use their knowledge, use their, I would say, techniques, or use their current trends to do the job in a smart way, simplify the job, more automate, come out with the new ideas, reduce mistakes, improve efficiencies. So that is what I look for in a person. I don't expect them to do a routine for years and years because that is boring for the company, that is boring for the employee also. Okay. So in order to make the job exciting, the employee also needs to do all these things. Because if you see, you go to a railway counter, right? Okay. So you see a person issuing tickets. Now the person is doing the same job for months and years. Okay. So is it exciting for him?
No, sir.
No. So it's the same for any job. So if the person is not using his or her brain or knowledge or anything to simplify, to automate, to reduce mistakes, improve efficiencies, and to teach people on doing things better. So these are the things I expect, and so that's what they can differentiate from others. For example, if there are 10 people doing the same job, if there are 2 people who can display this kind of behavior, obviously, they have a better chance of going up the ladder faster. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So we have a question from Tejasri Akka. Sir, how was your experience in IIT Kharagpur?
Okay, IIT Kharagpur was definitely a different experience. I would say it was a big shock for me to see the difference between IIT and Osmania. First difference I saw was when we were in college, in Osmania University, the exams were never held as per the schedule pasted on the notice board. Okay, so when I went to Kharagpur, they just put the schedule for 1 year, and 100% they follow the schedule in terms of let's say assignments, sufficient dates, in terms of internal exams, in terms of project reports, in terms of X, Y, Z. 100% they follow, and that was the first shock I got it. And of course, in terms of let's say the infrastructure, the library was awesome, 24 hours open, air conditioned, and etc. etc. So definitely it's a much better, I would say, environment. And for somebody who seeks to learn, it's a great place.
Sir, I think it's my question or doubt, I don't know, but let me ask. Sir, you are totally driven in chemical engineering, core chemical engineering, right? And on that only you are applicating the knowledge of chemical engineering in your industry, right? So why didn't you go for a PhD in chemical engineering to explore more fields? Whether doing PhD will give more experience in chemical engineering, or setting up a company like this will give more experience, or what can we relate?
Both. Obviously,
or
both
it can be
you,
PhD after a company.
It's a choice. It's your choice. That's what, one girl asked, what is it you wanted? It's your choice. Somebody wants to be in teaching, somebody wants to be in research, somebody wants to be in industry, somebody wants to not work. So it's a choice. So I wanted to be in the industry for sure. And obviously I had an opportunity to pursue getting into that PhD, but definitely I did not want. So I would say it is an individual's choice. Okay, and every field is equally challenging. There is no field which is inferior to the other. I would say every field it can be equally challenging, including teaching, it can be research, it can be a corporate job, it can be any other XYZ. Every job can be equally challenging. Does it answer, Rohit? You don't seem to be satisfied with my answer.
No. I am satisfied, sir. It's on our individual person.
Yeah.
So, when Sajiv Garu mentioned about what he looks in an employee, think about that. That is really what he's saying is actually what every human being wants. But somehow the education system has made us to, even though the education system is supposed to be based on questioning, we somehow stopped questioning. We somehow just do our homeworks and do exams and go. So what I would like you to do is, like he said, if suppose you don't know something, we had to learn from each other, or we had to learn from our professors. That's the only option we had. We could find 1 or 2 books, maybe, on each subject. Sometimes we found a second book. Otherwise, we only had 1 book at that time. So you could go to YouTube now. I mean, that is like an amazing place. Whenever my children needed to learn something, they just went to YouTube first and learned that. And then they went to class. So they know what was going to be taught in class, and they were listening in class. And if, whatever they got more information, they got it. But they always used YouTube more than the classwork itself. And the second thing is, ESL can be your company. ESL is like your company. You can go and automate. You can say, hey, this is something I want to create. Go and do it. So you can practice all the things that you want to do outside the college in ESEP.
Good. Yeah. So you are now equipped with more and more tools.
Yep.
Unimaginably stronger tools.
Exactly. Exactly.
Meena garu.
Go ahead.
No, I was just thinking maybe we should have, like one of these talks, we should have a mock interview for some of the third year or fourth year students in the ESET. We can make a board of interviewers.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Just now this idea came to me.
yeah, and it can be an open interview. Others can watch.
Yeah,
So
I
just a mock
told my
interview.
mentee. In fact, I suggested to my mentee that I will take mock interview for her. Okay.
Yeah, so
Hello?
this is probably a good idea Shravan can think of.
True. I have done this. In fact, what I have done in one of the B schools, this mock interview, and they have recorded everything so that they could use that recording during their class on how to face an interview.
Yeah. So I mean, we can have some 5 to 6 students and see, give them the feedback on what improvements they need to make on each of their way of answering. So that will be a live or case study,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I will actually that's a great idea, and now students are going to be graduating very soon, the fourth year students also. So we could this would be a good idea to do that. So let
I will limit it to, I think we should limit it to only fourth year students. I mean, the people who are graduating in the near future.
Okay.
Yeah, because we like them to have some knowledge on some of the subjects. So that way, but others can watch. I think that should be allowed. Yeah.
So, do you think we should have only Sajiv Garu be in the interview, or do you want a couple of people? How do we
couple of
want
people. I think it should be a couple of people, exactly how it would be in an organization.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
It would be about 4 to 5, and in our department it's about 6 to 8 people. But I don't know how it is in private organizations.
Maybe 3 to 4 is good enough, because otherwise the people will get scared seeing so many people.
Get scared. I know. Yeah. So that's okay. But each one will be from a different field, or it's not core chemical engineering. It could be a different.
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand.
Okay. We will make that happen probably within the next 2 weeks.
I understand.
Did you see what I did just now? I said, let's make it happen within 2 weeks. That's what every one of you should be doing. As soon as you see an opportunity, you should say, it doesn't matter the age or anything, because you know what? I might not be able to make it happen in 2 weeks, or I might make mistakes. So what?
Doesn't matter. Correct. You're right. Yeah. Couple of things, what my beliefs, I think, during my career. So it can be answered for no question. You people must realize that I believe in 80-20 concept. The concept is very strongly used in my company where I worked, ITW, that 80-20 rule is 80% of the results come from 20% of activities. Okay, so 80% of effective results come from 20% activities. Okay, so whatever you do, that 80% will come from.
That is what you call smart working, smart studying.
Smart studying, smart working, and so I don't believe in hard work. Never believed in hard work. So because if you keep on doing hard work, there is no place for fun. Okay, and Meena and all of us know how much fun we have even at this age. Okay, so believe in that. Be conscious of what you're doing. Be conscious of how you're spending your time in a day. I strongly believe 24 hours a day is a lot of time that you get. Okay. It's plenty of time. So be conscious, extremely conscious of what you're doing. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. I don't say, watching a movie is a waste of time. I don't believe that. Watching a movie is definitely not a waste of time. But be conscious of what you're doing. So that's it. And a structured work, like what Shravan said just now, that I'll make it happen. So added to that is, when you say I'll make it happen, I would list down 10 activities related to that. I'll say, what are those 10 activities? What are the timelines for each of these activities? And when will it happen? Okay. So I believe in two things. I believe in smart work. I don't believe in hard work. Okay, hard work is required, but don't just depend on hard work. Slog, nothing is happening. So believe in smart work. Believe in 80-20 rule. That means 80% of results will come from 20% of activities and the structured, I would say, activities. That is what my beliefs in my life. Okay, don't complicate life.
Vinod, would you like to say?
Yeah.
Vinod, would you like to say anything?
Sajeev has done very well in life, so he's the right person to tell you all these small tricks of the trade.
don't. Okay.
No, he has two phases of his life. He can talk about both. So that's good, right? He worked for somebody and now he's getting work for others. So he has both sides of the story to tell you, and he's just the right person. So I think you're good choice in Sajeev.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Sir, did you like to work under someone or would you like to start your own? What was the best choice?
See, you will never, no one can give you right answer. Okay, so there is no right answer to it. There is no right answer to it. But let me tell you, if you work for an organization, there are a lot of positive things in the sense that you will get to learn the culture, you will get to learn the competencies, you will get to learn under your superior. So the ideal situation can be to work for some time and move on to entrepreneurship, but it is definitely not, I would say, not for everyone. Entrepreneurship is not for everyone. Okay, so I don't want to further explain this because it's very, very, I would say, tricky question and very, very, I would say, misleading answer. The answer can be very misleading. If I say everyone must get into entrepreneurship, I don't know, because 8 out of 10 people would have failed if you data says. I mean, if you go by old data, 8 out of 10 entrepreneurs fail. So it doesn't mean that entrepreneur is very bad. Okay, so people have become entrepreneurs, failed, got onto jobs. People have failed in jobs, got onto entrepreneurship, they succeeded. So there is no hard and fast rule. You can do very well, extremely well in a job. You may, stumble in entrepreneurship. So I can never give you a right answer. No one can give you a right answer. I'm telling you. Okay. But whatever you do in life, do it properly. Whether it is job or whether it is entrepreneurship or anything, put your heart into it. You will do well for sure. Okay. And never ever think that if you are doing a job, you are inferior to somebody, you are inferior to an entrepreneur. No. It is never like that. You are you, that's all. You are not inferior to anyone, you are not superior to anyone. You are you, that's it. Does it answer or it doesn't answer?
Yeah.
That you should not answer. You should not answer a question. Because there is no right answer to it.
I have asked this question for many members. Like I got different answers from different. Yes.
Like which one you enjoyed the most? Working under a...
As I told you, you should not stop enjoying anything you do, including when you go to a movie, enjoy the movie. When you go to a class, enjoy the class. When you are with your friends, enjoy the company of friends. When you go to a party, enjoy the party. When you are doing a YouTube, don't think of exam. Okay. So I have enjoyed both. Fortunately, I have done well in my entrepreneurship tenure also. But everything doesn't happen out of luck. Luck only plays, I would say, very, very small part in your life, maybe 5 to 10%. But most of it comes from your sincerity, hard work. As I told you, structured work with a goal with a proper goal, direction, and so on and so forth. Okay, so I have enjoyed both, and you will enjoy both if you put your heart into it.
Shravan sir?
I think that was one of the best answers I have heard. Because I keep hearing some people will say, oh, you need to become an entrepreneur. And it's, yes, it works for some people and it works in certain phases of your life also. I am really glad that I was an employee when my children were growing up. Now my children will grow up, I'm not working anymore, but I feel like I'm an entrepreneur now. I just do whatever I want to do, and I have goals. I get up early in the morning. I seem to be working. My wife says, you're working longer hours now than you used to work before. So, but I couldn't do that before. Even if I wanted to, it was harder because if my son had fever, I have to take him to the hospital or, take care of him. So having a job which was really set timings really helped them. So I think at certain points of time, certain things help you. So that was a really good answer where you said, everything, you just have to enjoy whatever you're doing. And that is probably the best thing.
Yeah. One thing I'm lacking as an entrepreneur, today there is no one to correct me. I feel that, I am gone to an extent assuming that whatever I'm doing is correct, which is, absolutely wrong. So there must be somebody to correct you in the entire, in your life.
Yeah. Wow. Well said. It is, again, that's another thing which having someone who can guide you or look at you is a good thing. But at the same time, office politics can come into place. And that is another thing that you can, lose out on.
That's the flip side, That's the flip side of the coin.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there is every coin has two sides, that you cannot avoid it. Okay, so that's what I said. Don't worry about being looking for perfection. Just enjoy the day and move on. Okay. But be serious in whatever you're doing. Be focused on whatever you're doing. Look at that 80-20 principle. Okay. And one more thing which I forgot to mention is, we were doing some session during my career, and we said every human being focuses on four things largely. 90% is family, career, health, wealth. Okay, so these are the four things which are the most important things for any human being. So if your activities, 95% of your activities are revolving around these. Okay, so if you can note down this, I call it, FLY, family, career, health, wealth. Okay. So look at those things and always ask what are my activities around these. Then I think you have a good chance of succeeding in your life, both professionally as well as personally. Okay, any more questions?
I had a question when regarding IITs and Osmania, something like any college, other college. How do they differ? Like IITs and NITs are just a brand, or anywhere is the same thing which we are going to learn?
No, it's not same. They are different. They are different, and I'm not sure if the gap has reduced over the years. But in my days, I think I could see the big difference in terms of, I told you already, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of the basic culture itself, the discipline. And the first example I gave you was very, very striking. And yeah, so it's like, IIMs and, other B schools. So definitely, and see, nothing wrong in realizing the fact, but is anyone trying to bridge the gap? That's a big question mark. I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, for example, my daughter studied in private engineering college in Hyderabad, DNR Vigyan Jyoti. Then she went to Carnegie Mellon in Pittsburgh. So Carnegie Mellon is supposed to be one of the best in US. It comes in top 20 universities. Okay, so she also could find out, realize the difference in the culture, in standards, in environment, and so on and so forth. So there is definitely a difference.
First of all, what Sajiv said is very right. Okay, there is a difference, but that is where you have to look at and say now. And he also said something. You have to enjoy wherever you are. So you need to look at it and say, okay, this is Osmania University. What does Osmania University offer? What is the beauty it offers? It has its own unique beauty. And you got to say, this is the beauty I'm going to enjoy here. And then if you go to IIT, IIT will give you a different kind of beauty. And you got to enjoy that kind of beauty. So what we try to do is sometimes we try to be here and then we try to say we want that beauty. It's not a bad idea to have that beauty, but enjoy this beauty while aspiring for that beauty. That's where.
Are we getting best out of it? See, are we getting best out of where you are?
Right, exactly. There is always what we are doing in ESL, IITs are also not doing.
True. Yeah.
So we were able, because IITs, there is some standardization that has happened over many, many years. And once a standardization happens, it becomes harder to innovate also. So we have nothing. So because we have nothing, we are able to create something. So every place you can do something like that. So just letting you know it is definitely, I enjoyed being at University of Wyoming, even though it's not, in the top schools, but the environment for learning is amazing there. With the libraries, 24/7 access to the labs, that is like the best. Because, I always love to learn. So I was always in the lab. I was always studying. So that was one of the big advantages I had. Here, I used to be at the library, the library on the Law College Library or the Arts College Library, you call it. It used to be open even on Diwali Day at that time. And so I was there on Diwali Day also. I used to be there, I think it was open until 11 o'clock, I think, every day. So I was there until 11 o'clock in the night. And I totally enjoyed it because that was the only place we had more books than anywhere else. So, and then when I went to Wyoming, I said, oh my God, you can have this much more books. Until then, I didn't know that you could have that many more books. So
this coming to this IITs and NITs, generally is a student makes the college, student makes the IIT, and student makes the NIT. It's not. It's of course it depends on infrastructure, faculty, and all. But at the end of the day, student makes everything. So that's why IITians are well known and other colleges are not recognized. But nowadays it is getting changed. So students itself the IIT and students with those money.
Yeah. So I agree with Shravan. What is that we are doing to bridge the gap? These are the things that will take us closer to those institutes. As you said rightly, on a zero slate, blank slate, we can write everything. Right? So we have a lot of opportunities to improvise on. And good. So things are happening. And so I am not sure what is the gap today, but if we are trying to bridge the gap, then it's a wonderful thing.
We are not trying to bridge the gap. We are trying to go beyond the gap.
Excellent. Excellent.
I always believe we have to be the best in the world.
So, and I think we are getting there with all the alumni inputs and
wonderful,
fantastic inputs we have. We are making a new role model, a new standard now.
Absolutely.
Very good. Very
exactly. And you said something, Sajiv, which I was really excited about. You said, we want to go into different countries. We want to go to US. We want to go to China and everything. See, that shows, what you're trying to make happen, right? That's the big goals you have, the markets you want to go into. And I think that is the kind of mindset we all need to have. It is that, that mindset is where I believe fun happens, happiness happens, miracles happen.
There's a pride.
Yeah, there's a pride. And so when I was talking to one of the alumni and I was saying, we are going to make, our college the best in the world. And he said, Shravan, we are not even the best in Telangana. How can we go be best in? I said, no, we are like, that's the goal. We are making it happen. And he said, how long? I don't know. It might be 5 years. It might be 10 years. It might be 20 years. But, the goal is not going to change. We are going to do it. And so, but it's not that hard. We can take one aspect of chemical engineering and we say, we are going to be the best in that particular aspect in the whole world. And we can make it happen in 10 years, easily.
Absolutely. So when I started my company, it's a typical Indian entrepreneur. So we have our own, we build our own blocks. Say, how can we compete with global brands? We always get into assumptions that no, we are very inferior to global brand. We cannot compete. Customer will not accept. Let us remain Indian company. All this nonsense. So that's what. If you have mindset, what's wrong? We can be equal or you can be superior to global brands. That's how you'll prepare yourself. Okay. So if you think that you are Indian brand, you want to restrict yourself to Indian market. That's how you prepare yourself. Okay. So your preparation will depend on your goals. And I would say with a lot of pride that we are successful. We are able to prove that yes, we can compete with any global brand. The global brands are probably 50, 60-year-old brands. We are giving run for their money. So I'm very proud that my international business is probably overtaking my domestic business. Okay, so June is when I'm trying to get to US and put my foot in US to launch our products.
Very good.
I hope you'll come and visit me.
Yes, I will come to, because I have not been to Colorado Springs, so I have my agenda, definitely a couple of days.
Just let me know early on, so that way, as early as possible. And, please do come and stay at my home. And I will take you around and show you the beauty of Colorado Springs. The beauty of Colorado, not Colorado Springs. Colorado Springs, I can do it probably in 2 days. So I'll take you beyond Colorado Springs.
Thanks, Ron. Thanks for the invitation. So the bottom line is, the takeaway is, you don't have any blocks in your mindset. That's all. That's a takeaway. I mean, anything can be your dream. Great. So I hope I have answered most of the questions, and I hope it has been of some use to you people. Thanks, Meena, again for patiently listening to me.
I have all the time, Sajeev, now.
And our get-together is pending for long overdue.
Come down, come on.
We know our family so well, Shravan, that now even the wives also have formed a group now.
Oh, wow.
No, wives are formed 2 years back, right?
Enjoy.
So I am in both groups. That's the beauty of for me.
Being a woman helps you that
being a woman.
I can tell them all the secrets what's happening in the men's group.
So it's a wonderful, I would say, company. I mean, the real stress buster. And we used to meet at least once in 2-3 months time, and go on outside Hyderabad and spend a couple of days and go to weddings, etc., etc. We actually have a plan to go as a team to US.
Travel to Singapore, right, Sajeev?
Yeah, we travel to Singapore as a team.
Together to Singapore also.
Yes. Okay. So that's a wonderful thing that has happened to our class.
Oh, we didn't make plans to go to UK or Europe, and
we didn't make plans to go to US
though. You all should come to Colorado Springs. Yeah, you should.
I'm also traveling. I'm traveling to US shortly when I get my visa.
Very nice. If you are, Yellowstone National Park is one of the best places in the whole world, in my opinion. Of course, I haven't seen the whole world, but I have seen many, many places, and it is absolutely a beautiful place. It's really far from my house. It's about 8 hours drive. But if you guys are planning to come, we can rent a RV, which is a really big recreational vehicle. So people can sleep, everything, and then we can just, drive all the way there. So that would be one of the best trips you guys can have. So think about it. I would,
I'll plan it. Don't worry. I can pull all these guys.
Sajeev, we have to find somebody to look after my granddaughter. I'm coming for that actually.
Your granddaughter can come with us.
I know. I hope my daughter leave her.
Yeah, that would be the hard part. That would be the hard part.
No, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll do something.
Did you notice one thing? He's saying we'll figure it out. We'll make it happen.
I am also like that. I cannot leave an opportunity.
There is always a way out of everything,
And one good thing is, underlying thing is, my children are very fond of our having fun. So they will find some way of getting us.
Excellent. Yeah, that's a nice way of putting it, Meena.
So,
okay, students, thanks a lot, and Shravan, thanks a lot for giving this opportunity.
Thank you for coming, sir. The talk was full of positive vibes. We can feel that every answer has a positive answer. Sorry, every question has a positive answer. On behalf of my team, I extend a really hearty vote of thanks to our top speaker, Sajeev sir, who spared time for his busy schedule to grace the session. Today we had an opportunity to hear your thoughts, and this will surely be going to encourage us. Thank you, Sajeev sir, Shravan sir, Meena ma'am, and my dear seniors and friends for attending this session. Thank you for this opportunity. Have a great day.